Decision 2020 and the race to fill the seat that will be left vacant when Senator James Seward retires at the end of the year. It is the 51st State Senate District. Democratic candidate Jim Barber in our studio right now. Thank you for being here, answering the same questions as his opponent, Republican Peter Oberacker, whom you just heard from. You know, for almost 40 years, people in the 51st State Senate District have had the same representative in Albany with James Seward. Now we're getting to know new faces, new voices. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. It's a great pleasure. It's been very, very difficult to campaign this year because it's hard to get in front of a lot of people because of the COVID crisis. So I'm a fifth-generation farmer on a sixth-generation farm in the Schoharie Valley, very diversified farm. I've also been very involved in my local community. I served on the school board, very involved in statewide agricultural organizations, had leadership roles in several of those. I served as a special assistant to the Commissioner of Agriculture in New York State for 2 years, and then I was very proud to have a presidential appointment as head of the New York State Farm Service Agency for the USDA. I did that for 8 years.
Wonderful. I want to get your views on bail reform. Views definitely run the gamut. Some agree with the new laws, some are calling for amendments. What, if anything, would you change?
Right. It does need to be changed. It was a legislation passed to address a problem of how people are treated differently for the same crime pre-trial. So there were issues there that the law was intended to address. Clearly, there are flaws in the program, and it affects not only communities where you're getting repeat offenders let out, but it's also impacting some of the folks who's intended to help. So we need to get everyone at the table, all the stakeholders there, and decide how do we fix this so it both accomplishes the initial intent, but also really deals correctly with issues, especially in upstate New York, which are different from more urban areas.
The new owner of Remington Arms says they will bring back 200 to 250 workers to start. That leaves upwards of 500 people without a job. When they call your office looking for help, what's the answer? What do you tell them?
Yeah, I think anything we can do to help any business in upstate New York to stay here, get on its feet, keep moving forward, we need to do it. And yeah, and let's find out what are the issues that are impacting them, because we need to know why the layoffs, what kind of help do you need to bring folks on, what kind of employees do you need, they need special training. I think we can do a lot more in the state with building a workforce, beyond just or in addition to the secondary education, colleges and universities. There's a lot of apprenticeship programs, vocational training that you can actually train people to be both, mechanics, program engineers. There's a lot we can do.
In less than a year, we've seen jobs lost, construction projects halted, funding slashed. On top of that, sales tax revenue is down across the state. Your job going to Albany will be passing a state budget. Where are your priorities with financing?
We need to focus on actually fixing the tax system in this state, which is because we need to find a way to dig out of the huge deficit that has been created by the budget, by the COVID shutdown. There's tremendous economic activity going on in Wall Street, the speculators, traders, corporations that actually are currently not paying their fair share of taxes, or in some cases no taxes. And the reason it's so difficult to actually be successful and run farms in upstate New York and businesses is because our property taxes are the highest in the country. And that's because the state pushes unfunded mandates down onto the counties and our schools. So we create a revenue stream through a fair tax system, so everyone is paying into the system basically the same rate like you and I do through our paychecks. We now have a revenue stream where Albany can pay for all the mandates that are now pushing down on the counties, which takes about 80% of their budget off the backs of the property owners. So now we have a system where everyone can survive and thrive and retire here if they want to.
Again, Jim Barber, the Democrat in the state Senate race for the 51st district, and head to WKTV.com for voter information, including information on early voting. Again, that begins on Saturday. WKTV.com. We're back after.